Welcome to Pillow Talks with Victor, where love lingers in words. Tonight's story is about memories, second chances, and the places that stay alive in our hearts long after we've left them behind. This is The Last Night at the Fair. The fair came once a year. Same cotton candy stands, same carousel music, same laughter spilling through the summer night. But this time, it felt different. Ethan stood at the edge of the fairgrounds, watching the lights blur against the dusk. It had been 10 years since he'd last been here, 10 years since that last summer, that last night. He didn't plan to stay long. He told himself he was just passing through, killing time before heading home. But memory has a way of pulling you back to the places where your heart once paused. He walked past the ring toss, the popcorn stand, the Ferris wheel that still creaked the same way it used to. Every sound seemed to echo with something he once knew. Her laughter, faint and bright, tucked between the noise of the crowd. Her name was Claire. They were 17 the last time they came here, two best friends pretending they weren't falling in love. Back then, they'd spent the whole evening trying to win the biggest stuffed bear at the dart booth. Ethan missed every shot. Claire laughed so hard she had to hold on to him just to breathe. When the fireworks started, they climbed to the top of the Ferris wheel, and for a moment the world disappeared beneath them. She turned to him and said, "Promise me we'll always come back here, every summer, no matter what." He promised, and then life, as it always does, broke that promise for them. They lost touch after high school. Different cities, new lives, old dreams packed away. He thought about her sometimes, the way people think about places they'll never visit again. But tonight, as he stood under the same lights, he heard someone say his name. He turned, and there she was, Claire. Her hair a little shorter, her smile a little quieter, but still her. They both froze for a second, like two people who'd stumbled into a memory they weren't ready for. "I thought that was you," she said, laughing softly. "You still get lost at the popcorn stand?" He smiled. "Only when I'm not looking for someone." They walked together, just like they used to, through the noise, the lights, the ghosts of summers past. The conversation came easy, as if no time had passed at all. She told him about her job, her travels, the things she never planned but learned to love. He told her about the songs he still wrote, though not as often. When the Ferris wheel lights came on, she looked at him and said, "One more ride." He nodded. At the top, the fair stretched below them, small and distant, like the past seen through glass. They didn't talk for a while. They didn't need to. Finally, she said, "Do you ever think about that night?" He smiled. "Every time I hear fireworks." She looked at him, eyes soft, full of all the words they never said. "I think," she whispered, "this might be our last ride." He nodded, not in sadness, but in understanding. Some promises aren't meant to last forever. Some are meant to remind us how it felt when we first made them. When the ride ended, they walked back toward the gates. The air smelled of sugar and summer. She turned to him before leaving. "I'm glad you came back." He wanted to tell her everything, that he'd missed her, that some part of him never left this place, but all he said was, "Me too." She smiled, then disappeared into the crowd. Ethan stood there for a long while, watching the Ferris wheel turn one last time. Then he looked up at the sky, and just like that summer 10 years ago, fireworks began to bloom. He smiled, because sometimes closure doesn't come in words. It comes in lights that fade, softly, into the night. If you've ever gone back to a place that still remembers you, a song, a street, a fair, you'll understand this story, because some goodbyes happen not in sadness, but in gratitude. This was The Last Night at the Fair,